What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel this week. As you know, it's winter time, it's getting cold, and that means we're pretty much done shipping, so got my last shipment of the year in. So let's take a look at what's inside. So first off, you can already tell that this was shipped through the Postal Service and not FedEx or Delta or anything like that. You'll also notice that it's already open. That's because I've already checked the contents and made sure my critters inside are just fine. Now, you guys are probably aware that at this point, if any of you are savvy enough, that this is not a reptile shipment. So for those of you who have been waiting on a reptile unboxing from me, sorry. But we don't need to see that. We don't need to see that. Exciting packing paper. What we have, my latest mini hobby. Shrimp. Little scrimpies. Little freshwater neocardinia shrimp. These are some little orange pumpkin shrimp. Got about 20 of them in here. All varying grades and degrees of shrimp. So unlike snakes and other reptiles where it's morphs and it's just kind of there's just different color phases and different qualities of the color phases. You can crossbreed them. Looks like somebody in here laid a bunch of eggs. But what we need to do is actually get these guys acclimating. So what I'm going to do is show you my little scrimpy tank and get these guys acclimating and take a peek at the little aquatic hobby I've developed in these COVID times. So let's go. Alrighty, so here it is. Now, I got this tank because I had a need for something that was small and would hold freshwater rosy red minnows for the Crebo babies while they were getting established, which didn't go as well as I had planned, of course, but at a certain point I was done with that, but still had the tank. Having messed with little freshwater shrimp at work, I decided that it would be fun to convert this over, and here it is. So I've had it going for a few months. It started with like 3 shrimp, and now there's several generations of varying degrees. The interesting thing, these are orange bees, different from the orange pumpkins that I got, but they're the same species. So I'm hoping that what I will do is take these 2 sort of phases and make super orange shrimp. There's a lot of blue, red, green, yellow, stuff like that out there, but orange you don't see much of, and some of these varying degrees are actually green with yellow backs, so that's like a lower grade. So, and then I've since added some little snails that go around and help me keep it clean, because as you can see, it grows tons of string algae, which is fine. I just have to keep it in check, and hopefully with the addition of these new shrimp, they'll help keep a lot of that in check. So let's take a closer look, shall we? So this is just a little fluval spec tank. They make a shrimp specific package, and it comes with a nice LED light where you can get your little night light going, you can turn it off, or have good daytime light. It's got all its filtration in the back component here, really easy to clean and service. Your intake is down there, you got an overflow, and it's plenty big. So I just threw a nice piece of dragonstone in there, some gravel, let it take off. So there's some snail eggs, some ram horn snails, and my orange bees. And I've been finding these very calming, I guess, kind of interesting to watch. Seeing the different generations of shrimp grow and come out and do their thing, and how they all interact and ride around on the snails. It's pretty funny. But yeah, it's a nice little addition to the snake room here for sure. Alright, and if you're unfamiliar with the acclimation process, it's pretty simple. Literally going to just drop these in, let them kind of start to equilibrate temperatures. Everybody will adjust slowly, and then I can let them go in there, and it won't be such a temperature and water quality shock to them. The thing with freshwater shrimp is They don't like huge spikes or massive changes in some of their water parameters. So if you can keep a pretty neutral tank and keep your ammonia and everything balanced, you're pretty good. Alright, so we're gonna let them sit for about 45 minutes or so. So yeah, that's kind of my latest little shrimp obsession that I've got going on here. It's very fun. Aww, she's being camera shy. That was Smokey. I've been checking on her, keeping an eye on her, making sure she's on the right path for breeding. She's looking good and thick, but last video I mentioned how during the winter I don't feed anybody but the rainbows, and I guess I sort of left out that I still feed the crebos, but it's like a little bit. So last year around this time I was giving her a couple small multiple meals, but then kind of let her go, and that's when all the breeding was happening. So I'm revisiting all those mental jitters and concerns of what went wrong last season when I put them together too soon and the male tried to eat her. So definitely having some flashbacks to that, but pretty confident. I know what to look for, so now I won't be putting him in early. I won't be trying to stimulate her to go into cycle. I'll be waiting for her to cycle on her own. She's been getting a huge winter cycle, a food cycle. He's definitely sensing that she's cycling. I can see him running around, rubbing his nose and stuff. She just recently shed, so we're on track. We're just gonna have to take this one a little more delicately than we did last time, and hopefully we have no accidents and lots of success. So as for the corn snakes, these are the 9 little baby yearlings, and these are the 3-year-plus animals. I'm actually done feeding them as well, but they're going to experience the full temperature swings of the room with no heat. So right now they're getting daytimes in the 70s or so, and at night, last night we dipped to 69 or so, and I'm going to let the room actually get even colder. So they just have their normal setup, but they are done feeding, letting everybody empty out and digest all their meals. And yeah, that means even these little babies are going to go through a winter just like everyone else. So by the time they're adults, and if I do decide to breed some of them, which is the goal, a winter brumation won't be such a novel thing. They'll hopefully, in theory, be more well suited for it. So yeah, this is how I keep my little corn snakes, just in a spare rack that's unplugged right now. So alright, so I don't know if anybody else shares a similar obsession with tiny little shrimp like that. That's pretty cool. It's a big thing over in Asia and Europe, and it's slowly gaining some attention on YouTube, and people are finding it quite fascinating, and I can absolutely see why. So go check it out if you're at all curious. And ignore my cat making noise. But the other thing I wanted to close out with on this video, which I even debated bringing up at all, was one of the craziest little finds I've had in a while. And the lesson to be learned under this is that it pays to pay attention to all facets of the industry in reptiles. Try and absorb as much as possible. Even if you're not working with these species, know what things are, what the market's like, as much as you can. Just be informed. It's helpful. You never know what you're going to come across, and in this situation it benefits a friend of mine quite greatly. So the Lodi Reptile Show just happened this past weekend out here in California. I did not go, I was working, but some friends of mine went, and on their way back home they stopped by a local shop in the area that will remain unnamed, and they found that there was a Mandarin Sanzinia, or Madagascar tree boa, for sale there. The story was it was a 1.5 to 2-year-old animal that had been dropped off and surrendered. Pretty thin, but not terrible. Stuck shed, which is hard to achieve in that species. She had literally just gotten the head off, and they didn't really know what they had. Or, the animal wasn't in bad shape, but needed some better care. And they had it marked for $2.99. Yeah. That's a steal if you don't know that industry. Right now, some personal friends of mine I know who breed these sell them for about $1,500 a baby. And we're talking about, I just stumbled upon a 1.5-year-old female. So, $300, ran down there after work, grabbed it, kind of no questions asked, sight unseen, sexed it, got it home, soaked it, helped it shed, got it feeding, and confirmed it's a female. So what I have is the best mistake a local shop around me ever made, and one of the best finds I've had in a long time. Now, the reason why I said earlier on it doesn't really benefit me and it benefits a friend of mine is because a friend of mine who will also remain nameless works with this species and only has males, hasn't been able to find a female. And when he does find females, they're out of his price range because of how expensive and rare they are. Understandable. But since I managed to find this animal for $300, I'm hooking him up. I'm going to make sure he gets this animal for less than half, like just absurd. Make sure it's healthy and clean and doing all the things you want. And then, yeah. So, again, moral of that story, if you know your stuff, you're going to pick up on things that other people won't, to your benefit, benefit of those around you, benefit of the animals in question. So, yep, win-win for everybody. The animal's in a better situation, my buddy gets the female he needs, and I just had a little bit of fun. So, yeah. But that's all we're going to deal with today. So that's all I have for you this week. Next week's video, who knows what that will be? I literally make it up on the fly. So I will catch you guys next week. Adios.